making the not so obvious obvious.
Hi, and welcome back to probably the third part of the Sony Vegas tutorials on prepping your projects, and also the last and final part of dirty tricks, my bag of dirty tricks for doing a bunch of batch rendering of video production files for your stock footage agencies. I hate to sit here and watch something render and then have to start it again and again and again, particularly if you have a lot of footage. Right now I have one piece of footage in here, and I can probably create a couple of clips out of this. So how do I do that, and how do I do it efficiently without having to worry about it? Well, first of all, I need to select some ranges, as Sony likes to call them. And what they are is basically a bunch of in-point and out-point markers. And it's very easy to do. All you do is you select, just by clicking and dragging, a range, and you hit the letter R. And you can type in a name for the range, but I usually just hit enter because I really don't need to name. I just want the number, and as you can see, nice, there's a number, just so you can see that close up. Boom, boom, in point, out point, number one. I'm a happy guy. I have just now created a range. I'm going to create another range, and maybe like that. And now I have another range selected, and that's kind of cool. But gee, not really efficient because I'm only using one clip. So I'm just going to go get some more clips, load them up, open them. I'm going to grab and drop the new guys by shift click, drop them. Notice now we have an audio track here because I already deleted the one from this one. Again, I don't want audio. You can either mute it or just simply delete it. And now I'm going to do some more ranges. And there is no specific order or rhyme or reason. You need to select your ins and out points. Gee, that looks good. Remember, watch your monitor, check and make sure your in point, you can have them all different sizes. You can make them short, long, and this is most effective and most efficient. And of course, you always want to get some nice segments. So take your time in doing this. These numbers, by the way, go up to 99. And if you go over 99, you just start getting blank ranges, which, again, it doesn't matter. The software, when it starts batch rendering these, will keep track of the numbers and will number or enumerate the file names so that you won't clobber anything, you won't lose anything. Just keep that in mind. I have done 2 hours at a time where I've ended up with almost 200 clips in one batch process by doing this. And it's very cool because, think about it, you can set this up and let it run overnight while you snooze away. Or, better yet, you could do it while you're out shooting new stuff. How's that? Let the computer do the work while you're doing something else. True multitasking. There you go. All right, so I have my ranges selected. Remember, in the prior videos, we had set up the project just to make sure that the project is still correct. The properties, we're going progressive. And remember, these settings could be different depending on the camera you used, where your footage is coming from, etc. So make sure you've got this correctly set up. And now I am going to go and tell this system to go batch render. And the way I do this is I go to Tools, Scripting, and I select Batch Render. How obvious. Here we are, and here is a list of all the different codecs that you get in the typical list when you're setting up your templates. Kind of cool. I could click QuickTime because we are wanting to mostly render out to .mov or QuickTime files. However, if I do that and I click the little plus sign next to it, it kind of checked off every possible codec under the QuickTime wrapper. Okay, not good, because this would actually create umpteen files for each codec, so you would end up with a slew of files with every codec on there. So uncheck that and only check the one you really need. And it just so happens for me, this particular render, I'm going to go photo JPEG, and I've named these the ways so that I know what they are. You can name them anyway. Remember back in the template creation. So P5 for Pond 5, photo JPEG, progressive, 91% no audio. How's that? Pretty cool. Also, I want to make sure I put these in the right place so when I render them out I can find them again so that I can upload them easily. And I happen to have a folder called P5 out. How obvious. And that's where I'm going to put them, and I can give it a name, and I can say something like barn, because it's an old barn. You know, there's probably a bunch of horses in there at one time. Actually, this particular barn was on the set at Mescal, Arizona, where they filmed the movie Tombstone. So you might recognize it. I don't know. In any case, so we just say save, and what it's going to do, it's going to grab each one of these ranges that we created and process them one at a time. But only if I say render the regions or the ranges. Regions. These are regions, not ranges. Okay. If I render project, it's going to do the whole thing. It'll find the beginning and the end of the last clip, and that's not what you want because you may have some garbage in there, and that's one long big file, and that doesn't qualify as stock footage. If I render selection, then it's only going to render the selection that I currently have active, which is not really cool. So I want to render the regions. And again, double check, make sure you're putting it into the right place. And everything is set, and all you got to do is click OK. All right. All right, so now that it's finished rendering, let's go to see what we got. And I'm just going to go open now. I kind of interrupted this and didn't let it render a whole bunch, but here's the new files. And I'm going to go and show the details so that you can actually see how it named the files. And you'll notice it put the full codec name next to it. This is kind of neat because it tells you what the quality, what kind of files they are, and then of course per brackets, and then 0, 1. I stopped it after 1. It was in the middle of 2. I just didn't want to sit here and make you guys wait forever. Okay, maybe it was me that didn't want to wait forever. But in any case, these are the files. And again, I can now bring these into my project if I want, just to double check, see how they look. And this is kind of cool because Vegas is really flexible. So I'm going to just throw these onto another timeline, or another layer, as I should say. And these are actually 2 separate files. I'm going to turn the major one off that I came from. And now I'm going to show you a real quick dirty trick. All these ranges, we're done. Let's just assume we're done now. I can literally click the first one, select it, hold down the shift key, click the last one, and I can say, hey, you know, I want to delete the ranges. Of course, I can always undo that. These are the regions that I just deleted. They came back. You know, if you're done, go ahead and delete them, get them out of the way, or leave them. It doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. I just don't like all these green lines, so I'm just going to delete them. And here's my new footage, and I can actually get rid of this layer or track if I want, because I'm done. Here's the finished products, and if you look, this is the length of the first range that I chose. This is the length of the second range I chose. And these are actually finished pieces of footage right now. So they're ready to rock and roll. Again, do a range selection, hit R, range selection, hit R, and very quickly, and you can process tons and tons of footage. Very simple, very straightforward. Just remember the tools, scripting, and batch render. You can find out a lot more about this under help, or you can go into the actual manual that comes with Sony Vegas when you download Sony Vegas. I hope this helps. I hope this expedites your processing and makes it a little more fun. The biggest or worst problem one always hears and reads about from other artists is, man, I gotta sit there and I gotta render and I gotta pick and I gotta choose. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. Hey, thanks for watching, and feel free to always visit the blog at mediaartist.vadervideo.com, which is the blog for the ebook, and you'll always find new updates there. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and come back soon. Have a great day, and shut up and shoot. Thanks for watching.